She destroyed the city of San Francisco. And I own a big building there.
Editorial board headline, admitted Trump has dementia.
I shouldn't talk about this, but that's okay. I don't give a damn because this is what I'm doing. I should say it's the finest city in the world. Sell and get the hell out of there, right? But I can't do that. I don't care, you know. I lost billions of dollars. You know, somebody said, what do you think he lost? I said, probably 2-3 billion. That's okay, I don't care. They said, do you think you'd do it again? And that's the least of it. Nobody. They always say that, I don't know if you know, Lincoln was horribly treated. Jefferson was pretty horribly. Andrew Jackson, they say, is the worst of all, that he was treated worse than any other president. And I said, do that study again, because I think there's nobody close to Trump. I even got shot. And who the hell knows where that came from, right?
Okay, this was a Trump speech recently in Potterville, Michigan, and actually, we do know who shot Trump. But Trump's speeches are becoming more conspiratorial and unhinged by the day. As MSNBC writer Jishan Alim wrote, this is impossible to follow. Trump's sides stack atop each other with such intensity that it's dizzying even for professional political observers to discern what he's trying to get at. Why is a presidential candidate leapfrogging from talking about Harris's policy record to the bath he took on a property he owns to where he ranks in the list of horribly treated presidents? His asides themselves are often unintelligible. What is this alleged anecdote about a San Francisco property meant to convey? Well, my guess is that Donald Trump is trying to say that Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi somehow ruined San Francisco and therefore cannot be trusted to oversee the rest of the nation. But the argument is rambling gibberish. Let's go back to the Trump contest over which president got treated the worst.
Lincoln was horribly treated. Jefferson was pretty horribly. Andrew Jackson, they say, was the worst of all, that he was treated worse than any other president. And I said, do that study again, because I think there's nobody close to Trump. I even got shot.
In Trump's victimization obsession, he forgot a more recent president who got shot, Ronald Reagan. Before that president, John F. Kennedy was shot and assassinated. But if Donald Trump only wants to talk about Republican presidents, well, never mind Reagan, President James Garfield got shot in July 1881 and died of a follow-up infection 2 months later. Republican President William McKinley got shot in September of 1901 and died 8 days later. They don't get mentioned? The bottom line is that Donald Trump is riffing in incoherent fashion and repeating a perpetual whine of self-pity. And a person with significant dementia can actually sound better than Trump. You often have to spend time with a dementia patient to try to have a logical conversation to determine if they can follow a train of reasoning. Donald Trump, however, is off the rails, all over the map, and rambling by himself while bastardizing basic history.
I even got shot. And who the hell knows where that came from, right?
Again, we do know the shooter was another troubled, disaffected young male loner with easy access to firearms. But Donald Trump casually tosses out an insidious conspiracy theory like it's a piece of candy. And Trump's rule-breaking is so ingrained in our public consciousness that we forget how far he is from the basic responsibility of a leader to speak clearly. And the Potterville, Michigan speech was just the latest example. During a recent event in Wisconsin, Donald Trump was asked about his plan to bring down inflation and responded with this.
You take a look at bacon and some of these products, and some people don't eat bacon anymore. And we are going to get the energy prices down. When we get energy down, you know, this was caused by their horrible energy wind. They want wind all over the place. But when it doesn't blow, we have a little problem.
Following that exchange, the New Republic headline read, "Cognitive decline? Trump goes on weird rant about bacon and wind power. Trump is losing it, folks." By most accounts, Donald Trump has difficulty focusing on one thought, and it's been getting worse for months. Early this year, Trump rambled into praise for actor Cary Grant, who Trump assumed that the audience didn't know anything about. And this started with a riff criticizing President Biden's age.
Somebody said he looks great in a bathing suit, right? And you know, when he was in the sand and he was having a hard time lifting his feet through the sand, because, you know, sand is heavy. They figured 3 solid ounces per foot. But sand is a little heavy. And he's sitting in a bathing suit. Look, at 81, do you remember Cary Grant? How good was Cary Grant, right? I don't think Cary Grant, he was good. I don't know what happened to movie stars today. We used to have Cary Grant and Clark Gable and all these people. Today we have, I won't say names because I don't need enemies. I don't need enemies. I got enough enemies. But Cary Grant was like, Michael Jackson once told me, the most handsome man, Trump in the world. Who? Cary Grant.
And even when Donald Trump is able to focus on one issue or topic, he seems incapable of articulating any complexities. Instead, Trump produces an overly simplistic and often childish recitation of what he knows or what he has witnessed. Case in point, a few months ago, a sweaty Donald Trump spoke in New Hampshire about building a missile defense system to cover the United States.
You know, Reagan proposed that many years ago, Star Wars. He proposed it many, many years ago, but at that time there was no technology. It was just like it looked good. But we have unbelievable technology. We shoot them down. I've seen so many things. I've seen shots that you wouldn't even believe. Missile launched. They go, missile launched, and you hear a bell go. I mean, I see this. It's so incredible. And these guys, these geniuses, they go, these are not muscle guys here. They're muscle guys up here, right? And they calmly walk to a seat. Ding, 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 ding. They've only got 17 seconds to figure this whole thing out, right? Boom. Okay. Missile launch. Pshing, boom.
This juvenile, rambling simpleton is running for president of the United States. In a reasonable society, Trump would be in memory care or being looked at by his wife or family, or given his wealth, he would have 24-hour care and people around him to screen his phone calls to make sure he doesn't fall for elder targeting scams. Remember, Donald Trump is elderly. Even the mainstream media reported that he repeatedly fell asleep during his New York criminal trial. Unplanned and irresistible bouts of napping are another typical sign of dementia. As the headlines grow about Donald Trump's cognitive decline, Trump himself seems to be aware of the criticism, and here is how he recently responded to that.
I do the weave. You know what the weave is? I'll talk about like 9 different things, and they all come back brilliantly together. And it's like, and friends of mine that are like English professors, they say, it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. But the fake news, you know what they say? He rambled. That's not rambling. When you have, what you do is you get off a subject to mention another little tidbit, then you get back onto the subject, and you go through this, and you do it for 2 hours, and you don't even mispronounce one word.
Of course, Trump does mispronounce words.
Vegan restaurant, we're going to come and try that vegan food. Maybe you can convince me with that vegan food. A good, healthy vegan.
It's vegan, not vegan.
Rich people are given $7,000 subsidies to buy luxury electric.
It is subsidies, not subsidies. The larger point here is that we should not be normalizing or minimizing Donald Trump's cognitive decline. Donald Trump has multiple signs of dementia. The media should be speaking clearly about this and reporting on it instead of ignoring it or saying the incoherence is just Trump being Trump. America had a very difficult but necessary conversation about President Biden's decline. The same should happen with Donald Trump. His imprecise, impulsive way of communicating made him dangerous in his first term. The risks will only intensify if he becomes president again. Now, to be clear, Donald Trump's decline may not be his worst quality, but it would certainly make his other awful attributes, including his lying, recklessness, and narcissism, even more dangerous. By the way, Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz is dropping the hammer now on Donald Trump and MAGA world.
Look, this guy has made it clear how he stands. He's sitting down at Mar-a-Lago after he got elected president, and this was his exact quote. He's talking to a bunch of folks at Mar-a-Lago. You're rich as hell, and we're going to give you a tax cut. At the same time, he was telling workers they get paid too much already. That's who this guy is. You tell me who in Wisconsin is sitting around saying, damn, I wish they'd give billionaires tax cuts and screw me over. Damn, I wish they'd take my health care away. I wish they'd underfund my public school. I wish they would make my job more difficult and more dangerous. And then at the end of the day, I wish they'd make me work till I'm 75 years old. No one's saying that. No one's asking for that agenda. What they're asking for is to be treated fairly with dignity. That's what we have.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Chi Toto Toy, who wrote, Tim Walz equals mic dropper. Indeed. And Walz's sentences make a clear point. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump's rambling and the growing questions about Trump's alleged dementia. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.